Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of the Moto Vibes podcast. I'm here with my co-host Reese Clayson and
How's
special
it
guest
going?
again, Seamus McDonald. How are you boys doing?
Going on, bud?
We're doing pretty good.
Good man, good man. So, hectic week at Oakwood Supercross. Some unexpected things happen. Barsha has a red plate. Anderson got a win. 250 class was all over the place. So, Reese, tell me about what you saw from the weekend, how you thought of it overall and everything, man.
Um, I'll start with the 250 class. Christian Craig dominated again. And I mean, obviously he's the favorite because he's won the first two rounds, but at the same time, I'm kind of skeptical on how it's going to play out because last year he started off really strong too, and he didn't really finish that strong. So he's the favorite. I think Hunter Lawrence and Seth Hammaker are the other two contenders. I mean, they've been on the podium the same. They just flip flopped. The 450 class, I'm very disappointed with Ken Roxon. I mean, he crashed and then rode around in 13th, and I thought that was a very ungutsy ride. He just kind of gave up almost. But no, I think I liked Anderson. I mean, he looked good at the first round and then did really good at the second round. So
Yep.
I like how that's and I think it's gonna be. There's no real favorites right now in the 450 class. Like no one's done well twice besides Barsha. So we'll have to
hmm
see how it goes.
Yeah, man, definitely. And I think like what you said, there's going to be a lot of riders flip flopping the results. I don't think there's going to be very many consistent guys. There'll definitely be a few in the 450 class, but I think we stay on the 250 class for a little and talk about that. So we saw Craig Lawrence and Hammaker hit the podium, and I feel like that's going to be like a consistent top three throughout the West Coast season. So Shamo, we were talking about it last week with Cam, Craig back on the podium, Lawrence P2. So what do you think about all that, man?
Well, obviously, it was to be expected that Craig was going to be obviously running that P1. It's just he dominates through the whoops. It's insane. Like I wouldn't mind coming into this weekend. I wouldn't mind seeing Hunter on top, but I don't know. It's to be expected. Craig running that P1, and then obviously Lawrence and Hammaker there. I think, like you said, it's going to be a consistent podium for all those three.
Yeah, definitely. And I think what we discussed about on the last podcast is that Oakland and A1 were two very sketchy tracks. This seems way more calm and mellow. I don't know if you guys had the chance to look at the track map, but it's by far different than those
Yeah.
last two rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing I've noticed with the track map is like the rhythm sections seem kind of more tamed down, but it's hard to tell because you haven't seen anyone ride it yet. But at the same time, there's a really long whoop section, and that's gonna be hard instead of two shorter ones. They got one long one, and it's gonna make it hard on the guys because they're gonna get more tired. So we're gonna see the guys who have more endurance kind of show up and do better, I think.
Yep, definitely. And I think going back to endurance, Craig strives in that. He's been in this 250 class for God knows how long. Definitely, what, 7+ years probably. So I think
Yeah.
his endurance is up to speed. I think Lawrence is going to be there. I think Hammaker is going to be there. I think it's just going to be podium repeats for those guys. But I think Lawrence is making slow and steady progress. Um, he's really just going to have to get better starts. I think he started like seventh.
Yeah.
Last race, and Craig almost pulled the whole shot. So
Yeah, and you got to
yeah,
think
man.
he's kind of behind the eight ball because he was supposed to ride the East and Jet was supposed to ride the West. So I mean, we don't know how much he's prepared. I mean, he hasn't said a lot about it, and I don't think he's the one to make excuses. So I think he's going to get better each and every round.
Yep, and P4, P5. P4 was Mosman, which is I think that's gonna be his hotspot for the year. I think he'll have a good few races where he gets a top three, but I think that fourth is I don't feel like he's on that top three speed. Do you guys believe that Mosman's faster than Hammaker? Because he's definitely not faster than Lawrence or Craig. Shamo?
Well, I don't know. I think I could agree with that. I think that's going to be his hot spot for the year. I don't. Him and Hammaker might battle it out here and there, but I think, like you said, that's going to be a steady spot for him. I think.
Yeah, I agree with Shamo, and I think the biggest thing Mosman has to overcome is he's fast, like he shows it in qualifying. It's just he crashes a lot. I mean,
Yep.
a lot of these 250 guys crash a lot, and that really, really hurts him in the long run. And I think that's one thing he's just got to grow on to be better. And I think you're right with that fourth, just because if he crashes, then he's dropping back like he had a bad start. So it really doesn't do him any good getting a good start. So I think he's just got to stay on the wheels and maybe he'll be on the podium more. It just depends on how it goes.
I agree definitely, and looking at P5 is Thrasher, and that's a big stride for him from A1. He had a really crappy A1. I don't even know if he got inside the top 10. So to see him back in the top five, he was capable. He had capability last year. He had the LCQ wins, and then boom, he wins two main events. One was in
Yeah.
Atlanta, so he's definitely capable of getting into that podium area. I think it's really just starts for him. He seems to struggle a lot when he starts in the bottom pack. So,
Yeah.
props to him on the top five. He's still young in this class. So congrats to him. And then P6, solid Vince Freezy. I think that's sort of going to be, like I said, a spot where he just sticks throughout the year. He's not a top three guy. He can pull a whole shot, but I I don't think it's just him. I also think it's the bike. I don't think his bike can keep up with those other bikes.
And I will say one thing, if you're playing Pulp Fantasy, pick him for the first lap leader. I don't care if he doesn't every round, but he will always get a whole shot. He's just that good at
Yep.
starts. And that's who I pick every time is him for the first lap or the first to the finish line or whatever they call it.
There was something about that smart top team. It was either Freezy or Michael Lessie back in the day.
Michael Essie and him are just great at starts. It's just
Yeah.
how it is. I mean,
Yeah.
but
And then I think this will be an interesting conversation for us. Joe Schmoda.
well, Shane wants to say something about that.
What you gotta say, man?
He had a gnarly crash. That
Yeah.
little front flip he had, that was.
Dude, I didn't
surprised
even
by that.
notice he front flipped when I saw it. I just thought he like went off the track and fell, and then they replayed it. I was like, oh, he
No,
front flipped.
Buddy front flipped, and that's two sevenths for him, which puts him at seventh in the Caleb just tried to join. Seventh in the points, and I don't think that's where he wants to be. Coming into this, he was expecting to be a championship contender. He proved himself last year that he had the speed, and I don't think this is where he's going to be at. Do you guys think he turns this around? Because I personally believe so.
Yeah. I think he's making good progress. Like I've seen obviously his Instagram, like all of his social media, and he's making good progress. So I think he'll work his way up.
Yeah, and that's kind of how he starts. I mean, he started like that in the outdoors. He kind of was rough, and then by the end of the year, he's contending for wins. So, yeah, I think Joe Shimoda will turn it around. And trust me, Mitch Payton won't let him be in the back of the pack for long. Mitch Payton knows how to win, and he hasn't won in a while. So I'm sure they're all kind of fighting for the win right now.
Yep, definitely. And P8, Marchbanks, this was a solid race for him, not where he wanted to be at. So I think he'll turn that around personally. I have to switch positions here, but what do you guys think about Marchbanks so far this season?
I mean, I think he's solid. He's got that kind of dog mentality. So, I mean, he's not going to go away, even if you're pushing him away. But, I mean, he'll get better. I mean, he's not technically on a factory bike, but his bike's pretty dang fast. So, you
Yeah, those
can't
Club
say much
MX
about the
bikes are
bike.
great.
And yeah, and I think he's going to get better. And once he kind of figures out how to get started, he'll do a lot better, I feel.
What about
Yeah,
you,
I
Sam?
agree with Kyrie. Say he's one of those guys too. Like he's got the speed and everything. He can get up there for sure.
He's just got to almost like put it together and find the puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
Definitely. And then you sort of start to go into those like mid-tier guys, and you got dudes like Blows, Wageman, Schwartz, our recent interviewee, Cole Thompson, Brown, Mumford. So all those guys are going to be in that 8 through, I'd say 15 range. And you got the privateers coming in. So, I mean, this West Coast, I mean, the 250 coast are by far already way more entertaining than last year.
Oh my
I mean,
God, last year, dude, the
last
East was
year
terrible.
I think fourth place was not even a factory ride sometimes, you know,
Yeah.
because you had Craig, Jet, Schmoda,
Cole.
and Mosman.
Yeah.
Or Cole. Craig got hurt.
And
though.
it was like sixth place and back. We're 45 seconds off the lead, and it's
Yep.
like you watch the first four guys, and that's it. And
it was like a Canadian pro race.
oh man, taking shots.
Yeah, taking shots as I'm repping the merch, eh?
Yeah.
Triple Crown, shout out Triple Crown. But I think there's going to be a lot to see in the future from this 250 class. Do I think Hunter Lawrence has a shot at this championship? Yes. Do I think he's going to?
I mean, it's close. Like he's got a 3-2, and it can't be more than 6 points that they're separated by. So that's one race.
Yeah.
Like Craig gets third, and Hunter wins. I mean, they're tied. So it's definitely not over yet.
No, I agree, but Christian Craig's a bad man when he can stay on the bike. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. You guys have anything else to add on about the 250 class?
I mean, there was a 125 in the main event if you want to talk about that. I mean,
yeah, let's talk about that for a minute.
When was the last time that I've never seen that happen in my life? Like I've seen videos of 125s on Supercross, but dude, I give the man a lot of props. That's hard to do.
Yeah. Like, it was mind blowing. Like I've seen it all over Instagram. Obviously, like it's blowing up, and it was just entertaining. It was definitely entertaining to see. Like,
and he did it out of the heat too. He got P9 in the heat.
Out of the heat.
Yeah.
Like, man, the man's a ripper, and he said it after he won. He's like, "I will make a main," and then he did it, and so that's really cool for Jared Sankey.
Yeah, that was definitely awesome to see, and he's definitely a fan favorite.
He brings in a
crowd. You don't know too many people that dislike him, so
no, he has fun with it, and he'll put it in there at times if he needs to.
Yeah, definitely. Anything you boys want to start up the 450 class with?
Ken Roxon had quite the rough night, like just all over the place. Just he could not keep himself together, it seemed like.
Yeah, I mean,
I know Reese was pretty disappointed about how Kenny got back up after that minor fall.
I mean, like I understand, like he had a couple rough crashes, but at the same time, it's like you're the points leader. I mean, you say all this stuff how you want to win a title so bad, and you've been so close so many times, and you lay on the dirt for 10 seconds after you fall, and you get up and ride around in 13th. Like that's not a championship worthy ride for me. Like if you crash and you're supposed to be a favorite, you should be coming through the pack at least into the top 10. Because now getting a 13th, you just look like a bum who's riding around in 13th. Yeah. So. I mean, I don't know if you guys think the same about that, but I don't know.
I agree. I like Seamus said, I couldn't agree more. You want to be a championship contender, you can't finish 13th in the main event. Yeah. I don't know if they released anything about was the bike fine? Was there something wrong?
Yeah, the bike was fine. Like he just rode around it. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But Kenny's definitely going to need to improve, and I think the Honda team itself, Chase Sexton getting a P9, not a good look for the 450 Hondas this past weekend, and I definitely think they'll turn it around this weekend. I'm a big fan of those Honda. I'm a big fan of those Honda guys. I think Chase has the speed. I think Chase is faster than Ken. I think Ken is just more of a consistent rider.
Yeah, and I agree with that, but I mean, I hear a lot of people say Chase is a title contender, but it's like, how can you give a guy that title who's never won a race? Yep. And it's like, I have a hard time going, he's going to win a title, even though he's never won a 450 race. But I do agree, he is probably one of the faster guys in the class, but he's the kind of like Michael Mosman. He crashes a lot, which kills him. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, but Anderson proved himself about this consistency. And I agree with you about Sexton and the falling and everything. I think he's definitely going to have to get that figured out if he wants to compete for a championship. But back to Anderson. Anderson rode great. He got a second place start, and just rode it out the whole night. And I think that's really going to be the key in this 450 class is that you're not going to be able to climb positions
Oh yeah.
in a 20-minute main event. Starts are really going to matter. If you look at it, Aaron Plessinger started fourth place.
Got second.
Justin Barsha started fifth place. So everyone's within their area of where they started. There's no one starting like 15th and going to first. There's no James Stewart Toronto repeat or whatever.
Dude, that race was so cool. I'm a little off topic, but
that's by far the best YouTube video kids can watch nowadays.
oh my God, it's just incredible.
The GoPro YouTube video.
Like, dude, the rhythm section he was doing, like where he was going like triple, quad, triple, that was insane. And the track was like destroyed.
Yeah.
And, yeah. He's just
but yeah, P2 Plessinger. And I thought this was awesome. I'm a big AP fan, just like Stanky. Like he's a crowd fan. He's a crowd pleaser. And Reese, something that we talked about and Seamus and I have also talked about is that we had Cole on the show talking about the adjustment from KTM to Yamaha. Well, AP just adjusted from Yamaha to KTM. So you got Seamus chip in too? Do you guys think that switching this bike was the right move for Plessinger?
I think so. He's looking comfortable on it.
Yeah, and I agree with him. The only thing is, like, a KTM is a taller set bike. But the thing I don't know is he's riding a new year and a new model. Like, so it's a all new frame. I haven't ridden it. So, I mean, it could feel like a Yamaha. It couldn't. I couldn't tell you. But, I mean, he looks comfortable, and people don't give him as much credit as he deserves. He stayed with Anderson. He was only like 2 seconds behind Anderson that whole moto. So I think he's gonna be trouble later in the year.
I agree. He's definitely a threat in this class. And P3, Barsha, red plate holder, only dude who stayed super consistent. And we said this at the season preview, Reese. We said it on the podcast with Seamus and Cam. We said Cole Thompson. We said to Freddie Norn. Consistency is key.
Oh yeah, everything. Yeah, consistency and not crashing. That's the biggest thing in Supercross. And Barsha's done that. But the thing with Barsha is he doesn't do it late in the year. That's the problem that he's at, and he never wins late in the year. If he could start winning races throughout the season, oh, he'd be trouble. He'd be a real title contender. And
definitely.
I think Barsha's just warming up. I think he's just warming up. Like,
yeah.
I think he's just warming up.
I think so.
Well, I mean, it's not like Bam Bam has shown crazy speed. It's just he's been there. Like, he's been third each race. So
and he gets a solid start.
Podium every race. He could just not even win a race. Podium every one and win. That's what he'll do.
That's what Anderson did the year he won the championship.
No, he won a couple in the beginning.
No, I'm saying he stayed on the podium majority of the time.
Yeah.
But shout out to him. That's what you got to do in this class, and he did it. And going to the fourth out of the podium, Eli Tomac. I think he was probably pissed off after the race. You're a championship contender. You typically don't want to get fourth, and definitely don't want to not be on the podium. But I think this is a step in the right direction for Tomac. He's on a new bike. And it's better than round one. You gotta look at the bright side of things. So do you guys think this is gonna be Tomac's spot, or do we see him move up in the ranks a little more?
I think he'll move up. Go ahead.
I think that's his spot.
Yeah, really?
I think so. I don't know. We talked about it last podcast, me, Cam, and Jason, or whatever. He's getting along with Kenny there. They're getting older, right? And they're coming up on their last seasons here. So I think he's starting to kind of wind down. Just their endurance is starting to go down too, right? As old age comes on, you can't ride as long as you used to be able to.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it and I agree with you, but at the same time, I think this is almost like a fresh start. And like, I feel like he could have one year maybe left to make a run. And I mean, it's not like he's looked slow. Like, he looked like he was trying hard, and I think he's gonna win races. A title, might be out of reach, but I don't know. I mean,
Yep.
I agree with you, Seamus, but I also kind of disagree. So
All right. Well, Reese, we talked about this earlier. Chip or dip? If it's a chip, you think they're going to win the championship or have a chance at it. If it's a dip, you don't think so. Chip or dip, Eli Tomac.
oh, what'd you say?
Dip.
Dip.
He's different.
I'm taking a dip.
I'm gonna take a chip because I think there's a pretty high chance that he could.
I just don't. I don't think his starts are too good with this stack of class.
I don't know. I mean, it's still pretty early. Like it's the same with Aaron. Like they're both on new bikes. It's just early in the year. We
Yeah,
don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, there's
yeah.
gonna be injuries. Guys get hurt. He's gonna obviously get better. Like the more he rides, the more he does, he's gonna get better with the team and the bike. So it's hard to say. I mean,
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, it's still early in the season. Like
It's early. It's early. And then
Yeah.
Malcolm Stewart, another good ride for him. Top 5. I think he looks good on this Husky. I'm not
I
gonna.
think he's doing. I think he's
No,
trouble.
don't.
I think he's trouble. I think he's gonna win races, bro.
You
I'm
think he's
not
gonna
kidding.
win a race this year?
Oh yeah, easily. He gets a good start and is out front. He's gonna win.
I mean, his whoop speed is something else.
I think he's gonna win San Diego. I'll put that as my
You think
pick.
he's gonna win this weekend?
Yeah, I think he will. If he gets a good start, he will win. A
Oh,
long set of whoops, dude, he will win. He's done good in San Diego before.
pretty bold predictions here by Reese.
Hate me, man. Hate me. I've been
No,
wrong
no.
before. It wouldn't be new if I was wrong again.
Yeah.
the Husky definitely fits his riding style, though. It's just
Oh,
something about
definitely.
the bike. They bond together, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
I think Alden got him in shape too.
Yeah, and he said it.
For
He's in the
sure.
best shape that he's ever been in. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Olden definitely works. I just don't know how people haven't recreated it yet.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I came into the season preview talking about Ferrandis is one of the fastest riders in the world. I said that he is a key contender for the championship, and he came out with
Dude, you
P6.
better dip on that prediction because that I don't think is going to be the.
We're going chip or dip. I'm dipping on Ferrandis.
I'm dipping too, bro.
dipping.
Dipping. No offense to the French. No offense to the French or anything, but Bud, you're 11th in points.
And he was 16th at round 1.
Um,
Oh man.
Brandon Hartranft scored the same amount of points as him in the first round. So, and no hate to Hartranft, but
There's two different types of riders right there. Hartranft, no offense to him, like I have no hate against Hartranft, but that's kind of where he is.
yeah.
Dylan came into the series a title favorite, and that man's getting 16th. That's a problem. I mean, at what point do you start to panic if your friend is his team?
At what point I say I'd say in the middle of the season.
I say you hit round 5 and you're still that bad.
Yeah.
You better panic.
I think they won't panic as much as if Tomac is doing well.
Yeah, but Tomac is doing well. Like he's a top 5 contender every race right now, and that's what you got to do.
He's a top 5 contender, but I feel like every factory team is expecting their riders to be in the top 3.
Oh yeah, and that's the hardest thing about being a factory rider is, I mean, they all expect you to win, but it's like there's one winner every race.
And
there's 17 winners a year, and there's 17 factory guys.
And from second to 9th in points, there's a 7-point differential. So
Yeah.
it's definitely close. And Cooper came from a P2 and went to just now a P7 with his teammate Marv behind him. I think both of those guys are dips for me.
I dip more on Marv than I do Cooper. I mean, Cooper's definitely have a chance because he's always bad in the beginning of the year. So don't count him out until the races are over because he will pull some off.
Yeah. What about you think, Jim?
I dip on Marv.
Definitely dip on Marv, but we're 2 out of 17 rounds in, so I guess you can't make too many expectations.
And I mean, Marv won a race last year, so I mean, you can't count him out of winning races. I mean, so I don't think he'll win a title as much as I like Marv, even though I cleaned my brother out when they were both in transfer spots, but I'm not going to talk about it. So, yeah, I mean, I got a dip on Marv. So,
Yep, I agree. And Sexton, that's a chip for me. That's a chip. No, Reese, don't dip. I'm not gonna accept it.
I'm going to dip on. You can't give a guy who's never won a race the title of a title contender. No, it's like saying if Adam Cinderella is going to win a championship. Like, no, that is a terrible prediction.
I agree.
Like, thank you. Like, tell me, how are you giving someone who crashed twice in the first race of the year, got a 7th at the next round? I don't even know if he crashed or not because I didn't pay attention to him. Who's never won a race, the chance to win a title? No. It's a bad prediction. That's like your friend in this prediction. He's mad. I made him mad.
I can hear him huffing and puffing.
Oh, man. Also, I want to point out how we're making this happen. And one of us is in Canada. One of us is in Ohio. And the other one's in Florida. We are not even close to each other at all. We're pulling this off. So, hashtag Team Moto vibes.
For real. And I'm happy for Dino. He got a top 10.
Yeah.
Looks good on him.
Yeah, it looks
That's
good
where
on
he's
him.
gonna be.
And yeah, no, it was a good ride for him.
Yeah. That's about where I expect him to be. I mean, I don't really expect him any higher or any lower. So
Definitely. And Savachi 11th, he just raced with a torn ACL. You can race with a torn ACL, it's no big deal. But you come down around, if you're fresh off an injury and your ACL is torn, there's going to be mind games in your head a little. So for him to get a P11, that's solid for him. Congrats to him on that. I hope he heals up. And yeah, and then
I think the hardest part about it is knowing, because
yeah,
I
that's what
tore
I'm
my
saying.
ACL. When I tore mine, I rode with it. I didn't know, and I think that takes a lot of pressure off. So you're like, it could just be like my knee's swollen. Like I hit it hard and it's swollen. But now knowing and having that sit in the back of your head, I think is gonna mess with it. And I think that's one of the hardest things that he has to do now.
Definitely. And P12 and 13 were the upsets of the night. AC and Kenny. AC, yes, a shoulder sprain. It's a rough injury.
Dude, if the races were 10 minutes long, he'd win every race.
I know. He really would. But he pulled whole shot.
Dude, I know he got me extra fantasy points.
First lap leader?
Yeah.
No, but I mean, AC is definitely someone that I would have said at the beginning of the year was a title contender, and he sort of just blew it out the window.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I was upset with AC, and
that's the hard thing about Supercross. You come in and you train, and then you get hurt, and you lose all that progress. Now you got to try to gain it all back up by racing yourself into shape. And
yeah,
with a shoulder
definitely.
injury, especially, that's got to be hard.
Yeah. And Shama, what do you think? Chip or dip on that?
Oh, dip.
Dip, Reese.
If he was healthy, chip. But he's not, so dip because I don't think he's going to get healthy enough.
And obviously, I believe Kenny's a chip for all of us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, unless he starts just falling over and laying there like he's been doing, but I mean, he's got to put it together.
Dude, what? Shane McGrath, P14, almost pulls whole shot in the main.
That was weird. He dropped fast.
He dropped fast. I don't know if there was a bike issue or something, but it's his first year, hopefully, of racing everything fully, no injuries, knock on wood. But yeah, and then Anstey P15, and then just to wrap it up, Heart Raft with the P16th. I believe that's a career best. So congrats to him. But coming into Oakland, San Diego, I've told Reese this, I've told Jameis this. You can't predict the winner. I mean, you can, but you really can't.
No, and
It's just so unexpected.
yeah, they're all so close in speed. It's like flip a coin and be like, all right, this guy's gonna win tonight. Like you have no idea.
Yeah,
Especially
literally.
with how stacked the 450 class is this year. Like, it's definitely hard to make your decision here.
I mean, hell, the top 10's 8 points apart right now for two races. Yeah. Like, it's insane. I mean, frick. I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be a fun year. If they can stay this close all year, it's gonna be an interesting series.
I believe they will, and you know, I think there's gonna be another like big flip between the results from Oakland and San Diego. So I think we go with podium positions, and then we wrap up the show. What do you guys say?
I'm good with that.
Yep.
Seamus, lead us off.
250 class, man. 250 class.
250 class?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, to be expected. Obviously, Craig, P1.
P1.
Then I think Hammaker, P2, and then Lawrence in third.
Oh, so you're going back to A1. Okay. All right. I got you.
That's just what you're up to.
Simple.
Yeah. What you got, Reese?
250 class. I'm going to start in third. I'm going to go Joe Shimoda.
Okay.
Second, I'm going to go Christian Craig and Hunter Lawrence with the win. I think he pulls it off. I think Craig gets a bad start for once. So, what about you, bro?
I think, just to make this race interesting, I'm going to go with the unpredicted P3. And I'm going to put Marchbanks.
I like that one. I do like that one.
I think if he gets a start, dude, it doesn't matter what bike he's on. He's such a good competitor.
Oh yeah, dude. He's got that dog mentality.
Yep. Yeah. Go Browns. But I like Marchbanks, and like Reese said, I don't think Craig gets the best of starts. I like Craig P2 and Lawrence P1. And yeah, I think Lawrence wants this one badly to keep it within range of points. And yeah, Seamus, what's 450 looking like, boss?
450. I'm just gonna take a wild guess here. I'm gonna call Cooper Webb P1.
Okay.
Got one of those feelings. And then I think we'll go Barsha 2 and then Sexton 3.
Okay. Reese?
Barsha 3/3 in a row. I like that one. Oh, wait. Did you put him second?
What's that?
Did you put Barsha second or third?
Second.
Okay. I'm going to go third. Oh, man. I'm going to go third with Eli Tomac. I'm going to give second place to Jason Anderson. And number one, I'm going to take Mookie. Because I'm going to keep my word. Mookie will win San Diego. If I win, you guys each got to give me $5. No, we don't gamble here. Oh, just kidding.
No.
What about you, Big May?
I'm going P3. Anderson. I'm going P2. Tomac. And P1. Spice it up a little. I want AP on the podium. I want AP P1.
All right.
I want AP P1.
You know the worst part about picking your picks is you're like, all right, who am I going to pick third? And you think of a person and you're like, oh, wait, what about this person? Yep. Like, there's so many guys that could be on the podium. It's so hard to make your picks.
It's just a lot of guessing, honestly. That's all I'm doing is just take a wild guess.
Yeah. Yep. And like, I was talking to my dad about it, and I told him, I was like, you can't pick a favorite in either of these classes until you've had at least 5 rounds. Because it's like, they're all just going to shimmy because they all think they're still the fastest in the class. So, I mean, you can't pick a favorite or winners or podium right now at all.
I agree. But yeah, I agree. And I think we're going to wrap the show up. And yeah, man, we'll see how these picks look.
We'll
As
see if
always,
we
appreciate.
are stupid or not.
Yeah, seriously. As always, Shamo, we appreciate you coming on, being a special guest.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Yeah, for sure.
Happy to have you, man.
And we'll get this up and posted. Appreciate you guys.
Yep. See you, everyone.
All right, see you guys.